said, CZ, if you're looking to minimize the market impact on your FTT sales, Alameda will happily buy all of it today for $22
Today. Did you
today.
see their welcome everyone, E-boys, E-girls. We're back. Thinking Ball's joining me today. DK out doing daddy things. Not because he has any children, but because he's daddy. All right, what were you saying, Marty? Talking about FTX looking to sell some stuff?
That's what Caroline's tweet was. That one was amazing. What did she say? She said that she will happily buy all of the FTT, or Alameda will buy all the FTT for $22 today. That was a probably peak performance, Caroline. And now you can see that she's aged a couple years in the last 8 months.
Bro, I almost feel bad for the I feel bad for the hired artist that has to draw. I think
Yeah,
they went to 4chan, they found some of the most notable Wojak artists, and they were like, we need to bring these in. We need to bring this guy in. Find him immediately.
it's almost like those gremlin goblin NFTs. That's kind of what it looks like to me.
It's like a female Schmeagle.
Mm, the gremlins, the female gremlin.
The part I think
Queen
is really has
five.
been making me laugh about the whole thing is like people are framing it as if SBF was embarrassed of her, but like
Mm,
I don't know if these people are judging SBF off of like maybe the drawing. Maybe the drawing that we altered that has the diamond earrings in it of him in court. But like uh I don't know if you've done a physiognomy check lately, but Sam isn't the one to be hiding Carolyn.
yeah, yeah. And come on, they're just like a match made in heaven, right? I just can't, like we were saying before the show, I can't wait for the transcripts to come out of all of the fun that they were having.
I'm interested in who all the other roommates were, quote unquote, because they had multiple, partners. So was it just FTX employees? Were
Yeah, it was
Sam
like
and
top
her
10,
both?
top 10 pimps all in one. The Albany, the residences.
Where does Gary fit into all of this?
Gary was there. He was there. He was probably filming. And, unfortunately, Gary Wang is peak male performance besides the, fraud aspect, right? You were saying he only had one dev under him. So
He
how could he
truly
beat
is.
that?
He had like Nishad next to him, and then beneath him as the CTO, he has a senior dev, right in line with him, and then there was like a tree of like 30 people beneath him. So it was like he just talks to the senior dev, and everyone else reports to the senior dev.
I wonder if that was done like intentionally, right? If that's how they were able to get away with, he was the mastermind coder behind all of it, and he could hide things and then give it to the senior dev, but he was like the last, um, wall of defense, or the first access point to their whole database or code database.
I don't know. It the way Carolyn made it seem, it seemed as if like Sam had designed the architecture. But I don't know.
Mm,
I haven't spent a ton of time digging into everything. There's a guy who's been live tweeting the transcripts of the court case, and I've been catching up on that. Whatever his name is, he's doing the Lord's work. Um, we were saying it's unfortunate as a federal case. I'd love to see the video and them having to say this and explain it in front of a bunch of
oh, that
cameras,
would have
like
been
the
great.
Depp Heard, uh, the Depp Heard case.
Oh, that would have been great. Yeah, that would have been the talk. Oh, the news channels wouldn't even need any other coverage. It could just be that live for a year,
Would be
Just them
insane.
too. Just this whole FTX debacle. The Gremlins
I'd watch
live,
it too. It's funny that like it could be hold on. It's funny how Netflix does things, right? Like you would never sit down to watch a 10-hour movie, but they're like, let me chop it up into 10 1-hour pieces
And you
and
will
then give you
watch.
this 10-hour movie. Like I would totally watch the 10 episode, hour long each episode FTX debacle.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
they just butchered it on
It'd be
that
better than
book.
it'd be way better than Wolf of Wall Street if the right person made it.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I think they just like butchered it on the book, and then the guy went on 60 Minutes. Who watches 60 Minutes besides people over 60? My grandma's like 80 years old and watches that, you know? So it's like the whole target, they're trying to make him out to be like a super nice guy, and it wasn't him to the older people. And then, all us young folk just know that he was just an absolute scumbag, right? Because we read the Twitter threads.
It's crazy to see she was willing to buy it then at $22, and you see like in the filings and even like later on, like that the $1 line was like so important to them. But like, hey, I'll buy it at a 22x premium from you if you want to get rid of it.
I
They
think,
seem to
yeah,
have
because it was the
really
VCs, right? They had the VCs in at like a couple pennies and they were dumping on retail at a dollar at the beginning, right? And now 22 was the line.
a tale as old as time. I remember when a lot of people this is kind of relevant because we talk about FriendTech stuff a lot, but a lot of people were asking me in the beginning, like, if I saw the similarity between FriendTech and BitClout. And what we're talking about right now is the like biggest differentiator between like the launch of FriendTech and the launch of BitClout. When BitClout launched, it was like every VC under the sun was in on this on the seed round and got it for pennies on the dollar. And at the time of like public launch, they were making it available to everyone. The token was like $100. So they had like 1,000x out the door, 100x out the door for people in like later tranches, and we're trying to pass it off as like this um decentralized. Anyone can run, anyone can mine on the network and help secure your cloud chain.
Cloud chain. The
It's
best
not what
was
it
their
was. I'm calling
conferences.
that.
That was the
I'm
best.
just
Their
calling
their conferences.
um yeah, like all this shit, but like um as soon as it came out, the public perception was so tainted of like what that was that it couldn't even take off. Um And then you have stuff like this that's like total vaporware that like the FTT token that like
Yeah, it
you can
was
pump to oblivion. But anyway, my point was that like they did this thing where they had all the VCs kind of pile in early, and then they pretended that like it was a fair launch like Bitcoin, and in reality they had already gotten on. And with FriendTech, like it was a lot of people didn't want to try it at first, but nobody was necessarily like rewarded from a third party for joining. You were rewarded by earning fees because you were there early, you got followers early. Maybe you'll earn points, and those points will in 3 years give you a token. But like there wasn't this round of VCs getting in to acquire fees or to acquire keys of other people and then opening up to everyone else where they did that with BitClout. It was like they acquired all the creators they wanted and pumped their prices up and acquired a ton of BitClout and pumped that price up. And then they opened it to everyone. And we're like, yeah, come and buy people now. We
Yeah, the whole
promise
thing
it's
with
fair.
VCs is like is they get in early, they get in for pennies, right? I don't know, let's say Solana or whatever, any other token. And they get in for pennies and then, it comes out for dollars, tens of dollars or hundreds of dollars, but they have to pay back the fund, right? They raise money from other people. They have to sell. Like it's a forced seller. They have to sell to pay out people. Like when Solana was 250 and I think it was the all-in pod, they were all trying to get rid of their locked allocations, right? They were like laughing about it. That like marked the top, right? That they are all trying to get out. And for some reason, retail always just keeps falling for it. Like, oh, Solana to fucking $1,000, right? And it's like, no, these guys got in for pennies, and now it's hundreds of dollars. Like these guys are for sellers. They're gonna sell every lockup. That's um, that's how it works.
Give me one sec. I think my
Oh, you froze.
yeah, my camera froze. Can you still hear me though?
Yep, yep. You're still live. Audio is live.
All right, very nice. I can fix this.
The thing we were talking about the friend tech thing yesterday, and I don't know, right? If the token comes out in, I don't know, multi-year level, and like how many people are going to be around in that multi-year level, right? The points are probably going to be used for some in-store, in-app thing that you were saying, right? So how does this equate to more users on FriendTech? Do we get retail into FriendTech, or is it just us playing in our own sandbox? And oh, you're back.
Yeah, yeah. I got it to work in. My camera just kind of shut off. Um, I think that I've kind of been of this opinion from the beginning that because I'm not a fan of like SocialFi in general in kind of its current form, but I think that it can flourish in like our bubble if they're able to maintain the amount of attention gravity that they acquired, right? Like they were able to pull in enough attention to where they're driving significant volume on a chain that's you could say adjacent, but I think, competing in the space with Arbitrum and Optimism and all those guys.
Sure.
Um, they're able to drive significant volume for the chain, not just for their app on the chain, comparable fees with other L1s and L2s, like just as an app. So they have a significant war chest now of ETH. They have enough money to pay a team to fix bugs, build out new features, and make it much more than the MVP it is today. Now, what I was saying yesterday is that I think for FriendTech to, or not just FriendTech, but any like social fi app to really succeed, they have to make themselves adjacent to the existing social media apps. And you were on the stream yesterday when I was talking about this.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Like, no,
like,
we're just going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
like side by side, right? Like that's kind of
Yeah,
how I'm
yeah.
looking
You
at
you
this.
want you want to make something that people don't feel like they have to choose between one of the applications they're already addicted to using and this new thing. You want them to feel like that they can use them both and that they're not missing out on conversation from one or from the other, or that it's not pulling time away that isn't or that's more valuable somewhere else. Um, which is
Yeah, or else you just
why
run into this Clubhouse Spaces thing, you run into FriendTech
exactly.
Fork thing, you run into
Well, you run into like the
trying to think.
Threads Twitter thing or,
Yeah, Threads.
MySpace, Facebook,
Same shit,
Periscope
different color.
versus, whatever the thing before that was, Vine and um at the time, what was it? Instagram had Reels or Shorts or something. Something killed Vine back. Periscope, I think. Maybe it was. Um yeah, there are actually a lot of really cool like Twitter based ones, which I wish they would have kept around. Like Vine was fucking great. Um
Yeah.
and they
That's
killed
how all
off
those
Vine.
YouTubers started, right? Was on Vine in LA.
A lot of them, yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
was like the place where short form content um, kind of first flourished, and I think Vine laid the groundwork kind of for like TikTok to really take off.
Are you a TikTok user? You don't have to admit it, but are you?
No, no, I'm I keep I keep my eye on content, that's on there, but no, I'm not a poster. I don't make content for
But
TikTok.
do you is TikTok on your phone? I guess is the
Oh,
question.
totally, totally. You have to. I mean,
I
um,
can't do it. Can't do it.
I you will eventually, or you've just reached that like age threshold where you're past the point of trying the new things.
Mm,
Um,
I'm not that
which
old.
is yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that like it's not like a number thing, right? It's more of like when you've reached the age maturity, right? Like the maturity level to where you're just beyond like uh the new app, the new social thing because your priorities are in a different place to where like those types of things uh are provide less time value, I think is the
And
best way
maybe
to
it was
put
my
it.
mental threshold, my mental capacity. Maybe I just don't have any left, you know?
I think a lot of people like when they give up, like let's say they're diehard gamers and then they give that up because they start trading. It's not that they don't enjoy video games, it's that the time value of playing games is worth much less than the time value of, investing in their skill. And it's something that you don't realize until you've reached a certain maturity. Or
Yeah,
like,
I
maybe
gave
it's
up games
drinking
for
or
a while. Yeah, I don't know about giving up drinking, but I gave up games for a few years, and then I was just like, "Ah, fuck, I like just fucking turning on the PC for, like, an hour," you know? Maybe not 12 hours like it was before or whatever it was, right? 5, 6-hour sessions, but yeah, for sure, just picking it up for an hour and just, oh, whatever, getting lost in whatever sort of metaverse or whatever sort of game is always appealing to me now. I'm not gonna stop gaming.
yeah, yeah. It's something that I have done since I was like 3, 4 years old. My kids are big into games. And there was a time when I definitely had cut down on the amount that I was playing, but I replaced it with obsessively like yield farming, trading, and like, gem hunting, you could say. And then when the market turned, I stopped trading as much and replaced that with work, more work focus, and then games again. So I kind of went back to it. But yeah, like maybe it's just that, right? Like the app is of it requires a level of attention that you're not willing to give to it, right? Like it like is a virus that feeds off of your attention. So so
Exactly,
TikTok isn't for
exactly.
everyone. But yeah, and you see like the YouTube short thing, like you can see how addictive it is, right? Like if you're someone who usually consumes YouTube content, YouTube's now focusing the majority of their marketing and their money on shorts and advertising and stuff, on creators that create shorts and like short form content because they know that like TikTok is kind of creeping up on them for the platform that people are going to ingest like content, which is very troublesome for YouTube when they're the number two uh, search like index search platform, which a lot of people don't realize. Like, Google is obviously number one, and then YouTube is number two. So like for
Mhm.
SEO and stuff, like putting content up on YouTube, doing videos, things like that is important because that's where people go to search. They go, how do I do this? Where do I find this? How does this work?
Just
And
the revenue streams of YouTube is like a large company. Is like larger than a lot of companies. Just the revenue of YouTube alone, right? It's under the Alphabet familia, but just YouTube alone, their revenues are absolutely insane compared
yeah,
to, you know,
totally. Think about some of
other type of apps or whatever websites.
these kids now that are like they've been streaming since they were 15 maybe on there. They're 19 years old and they have, they're making millions a month from just like ad revenue. Um
Yeah.
all because of, YouTube. So yeah, it's like absolutely insane. But they see something like TikTok come up and people start again, like, something that is kind of adjacent because they came with a new form of video. It was short form, like 10-second clips, 17-second clips, like under a minute. There's under a minute eh, content for them to consume. So they knew they had to switch gears and start providing something complementary so that people don't completely move away from YouTube because you don't want people's habits to change to where they're now conditioned to only want the short form stuff. Um, and if they are, you have to be able to like provide that to them. So if they come to you for, how are the pyramids made? And it's
I
a,
need it in
30-minute
17
thing.
seconds.
Yeah, yeah. You want to have them the 30-minute one, but then you want to be able to serve them like a bunch of short form ones so they don't immediately go, okay, yeah, this is cool, but like I wonder who made something short on TikTok for it. I don't have time to watch a half an hour video right now.
Yeah, it just depends, like, if I don't know, if you're using it to watch, like, science or building or car shit or whatever, right? I guess the algo appeals to what you like, right? That's why it's so, like, addictive. But if you're just, like, washing your brain, melting your brain with fucking TikTok videos, like, go fucking find something else to do, okay? Like, go learn something. Go spend some time somewhere else. This for me, the short form content is the new thing, the new hype, but it's here to stay, right? Like people don't have the
Yeah, it's
attention
not.
span to watch a fucking 30-minute video. I need to know how to change my spark plugs in 3 seconds.
Yeah, I want it in 5 steps in a minute and
Not
17
even.
second clip.
Yeah, I need
uh,
less. I need let that like I need more information in less time. And maybe you're consuming more and more content, right? In that same hour, instead of watching one video, you watched 1,000, right? Or a couple hundred. Um, yeah,
yeah.
this is the new phenomenon, especially with kids. TikTok is very popular with kids. And adults too,
Well,
right?
it's
Adult TikTokers too, but mostly kids, I think, are their main user base, right?
Yeah, I think for like the adults that are using it, it's because either like they do digital marketing for their small like mom and pop independent business, and they
Hmm.
understand that that's a medium that they need to use
Sure.
to get in front of people. Or they're existing like content creators that are now just, cross posting or diversifying with like their short form content again because they know that there
You
is like a
have
user
to.
base there.
Yeah,
But
you have to.
I don't know of many adults that are consuming the content the way that they do like YouTube or like written content, like on Twitter. It definitely is um more accepted. And I don't want to say like aimed at, right? Because it's like it kind of is, but it's like a strange loop because
Mhm.
I don't think it was aimed at at young people intentionally originally, but I feel like their attention span had shortened or needed like dopamine quicker. Like maybe that happened at a rate of change faster than was expected. So like now there's this huge kind of like gap in user type where it's like really young people are hyper addicted to like the TikTok short form content because of just the way that their brains have changed in like the last decade. And like for older people, they're like it's almost like it's like an error.
Repulsed.
They're like
Yeah.
why why are they doing this? Um Yeah, I don't know. Probably be an interesting paper to read on like the psychological effects of X and like why it changed society into needing dopamine every 15 seconds versus every minute and a half.
Yeah, yeah.
But to get back to it, I forgot what we were talking about with FriendTech and like how this kind of came up. We were talking about BitClout and FriendTech stuff.
You're
Um,
just talking about social fi, the new social
VC,
norms,
SocialFi. Yeah.
VCs, and then we went into 10-second content that rots your brain.
Yeah,
Unlike this show, which is 1 hour attention span and you can't leave. You have to stay.
yeah, you can't
I
leave,
sent
you
you a
have to
good
stay.
DM. Check that one out. Maybe we can talk about that one.
All right, let's see.
The Goblinator.
I mean, dude, I mean, those are the photos I'm talking about. Like, whoever had to draw her in the courtroom is just, I mean,
Or they made,
they
like,
are
Sam, like, a black
truly.
dude in one of them, or, like,
Did you
a
see
darker
the,
skinned guy. I
yeah, did
was
you
like,
see
"What
the
is
one
going
photo
on here?"
I did? I threw some diamond earrings on him.
Perfect. Yeah, like, what's
Um,
going on here, guys?
yeah, so I think to like to bring things back in there, like again, I think like if they are able to continue to add features and innovate while they have attention gravity, then they'll be fine. It's just differentiating themselves and from Twitter and from you don't want people thinking that it's just a Web3 Twitter subscriber DM. Um, you want there to be this kind of narrative that allows people to think and to hold on to that they're using something that isn't taking away from their favorite app, whether they even if they hate it right now because there's nothing but salt and
Mm.
geopolitical experts. I love how these I love how your favorite founder and trader every time there's conflict becomes an expert on race relations, geopolitical conflicts, applied mathematics, like you name it, they're experts on
Yeah,
it.
I don't know if it's like a tension grabbing because, clearly not everybody's an expert in everything, but is it like people have the right to say their opinion, or maybe I'll reword this. Everybody has an opinion, but not everybody needs to speak it. Like some people opinion, like just shut up, right? Like maybe you're an expert in options trading, right? You don't need Marty talking about geopolitical conflict and things like this. I hope the best for everybody. I hope it all gets resolved. It's not looking good. But I have no way, shape, or form any sort of historical context, mental capacity to come up with the end game here, right? I'll leave it to the experts in that field. What's that guy's name? Adam. That guy has a thread for everything. He's the best engagement farmer I've seen in a while
We
in
need
the
Lord
crypto
Miles.
Twitter. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Lord
You
Miles to
want
come
honest
back in
reporting?
full.
We need. You see, he's back. He's not dead. He's
Oh, I
fucking
thought he was
alive.
dead.
No, he's not dead. He was taken hostage, by Taliban. But I he- for the last little while, he's been communicating via friends on Twitter, and like the
Mm.
friends were messaging high-ranking Taliban accounts, asking them like for permission to send photos or send video of um of Miles, like, you know, alive and doing things. And they were, reporting back on Twitter. Well, everyone thought it was like fake and kept trying to get the account shut down. But
Back, baby.
he's
I
back
just
now.
looked.
Yeah.
He's
He's
so
he's
back.
on his account. He is so back. Um yeah, which is that was like the craziest thing in the world when he when he got caught. You're just like everyone was like, okay, this is like exactly what you'd expect. You're like, this guy is bound to get captured eventually. Like, um, but it's like so surreal because he's obviously out and he's safe
He's
now.
gonna write a book and he's gonna sell
He's
all
gonna
that
read it,
content, right?
but also like the balls you have to have now. Like you just like you went and got captured by the Taliban. You ended up making friends with them, hanging out. Like you're fucking untouchable. Like who is if you can go and drop into like the war-torn land of the Taliban and just make friends, just like, oh hey mate, lovely
Oh
rocket you got
no.
there. and, and like, they're all of a sudden your pals. You're writing home, talking about how you're selling shoes over in England for your
Mm.
boys, for your lads.
Yeah,
Uh
lads.
just a wild, wild world. It gives me faith that we'll get a Netflix documentary, like a live interview of Suzu and Kyle in the future. Lord
Oh, that
Miles
would
can
be
make it out
great. That
alive.
would be great.
Netflix can usher a 10 episode, 10-hour insider look into
Yeah,
3M.
I just don't think that whole story has even, come out in full effect, right? Like they've been hiding from the Council guys. They've been hiding from the liquidators, right? So they blew up on the same thing, Luna, right? But we need a little more story. We need a little more, you know, backstory here, guys.
Yeah, I would love to know how these conversations with went like in the midst of everything. Like when they when they know that they're screwed and they're going into these conversations, getting more lenders to give them more money. Uh like what was happening in real time, like there's got to be it's definitely movie worthy. Some crazy shit was going on. Was Sue
Yeah,
tweeting the
we
way he
need
was
the
tweeting,
insights. Yeah, we need the insights.
buying fucking yachts? We've got. I'll send
Buying
you the sticker pack. We
chateaus
got
or
a
whatever he
whole.
was buying, some Singaporean mansion type home. There's a
We
name
got a
for it. I forget
badass
the name.
sticker pack of for Sue.
Oh
You're
yeah,
gonna
send
love
me
these
that one.
ones. Check these out.
Jake just added to the Marty pack. Check out those ones.
I like that one. Yeah. Oh, I gotta send him the PNG of the cat.
Oh
We are
yeah,
in the
yeah,
process of
Jake.
communicating with relevant parties and fully committed to working this out.
Oh man, so bad, so bad. Well,
This tweet is
this
both
this
not a joke and not a drill. You can screen cap it if it helps.
screen cap it.
Called the Pico
What a
top and Pico
classic.
bottom in real time to sovereign wealth funds. Where am I and where are you?
So good, so good. We
You,
need
my
him to come
friend,
back.
were apprehended at a Singaporean airport. I am sitting cozy on a weird ergonomic posture rocking chair thing. It's like a knee chair.
Mm.
in front of my 34-inch curved matching monitor with Marty the pimp.
Oh,
Think
same
DK
monitor. I
too.
love this monitor. Yeah, I like this one. This one's good. I did everything. I did the 49. I did the 49 with the 34 on top. I did the stacked 34s curved. And I'm just like, oh my God, what a fucking mess. Because usually I like to watch sports on the top one. So the top one was either like sitting on the Deribit fucking order book, sitting on the API, half and half, or it was sports, right? So now, fuck that. I'm way more productive with just one screen, and I have the Mac to the side, the MacBook for the sports or whatever. Way more productive with one screen.
That's what I have right now. I've got the 15-inch MacBook Pro on a I don't know, some fucking black Apple stand that looked very aesthetic. I'm all about aesthetics.
Oh, I have
Got
like the
that set up.
most shite setup. Like I have top notch fucking equipment, but like I just have like an 8 foot desk. Just like a flat 8 foot desk with a fucking monitor arm, the PC on the left, the Mac on the right. There's fucking cables, not everywhere. With this screen, the cables get a little more managed because you just have USB
Oh, I
C,
love
right?
it.
I
No,
love it.
but the actual like management for them's nice. How they kind of tie into the base of it.
hmm I have it on the arm now, though. But yeah, the base was good.
Uh
The
yeah,
base was
this one I
good.
just have sitting straight up, and then I slide the laptop stand so it fits like just under the corner. So I know I got the perfect angled enclosing of screens on me.
Ooh,
I
that's
don't
nice. That's nice.
I I've gotten in the habit though of not really using the laptop. Much like you said, like just with this monitor and with I got one of those newer Mac Studios. The
Mhm.
uh the UX for multitasking is just like miles above everything else.
Yeah, I can't go back to PC like to work is absolutely miserable. You're like mid writing code, mid about to fire off an order or whatever, and it's like, "Oh, here's an update." You're like, "You motherfucker. I shut you off. I shut off the updates. I said I want to notice." It's like, "Yep, your notice was 10 seconds and you can't like cancel it." You're like, "Oh my God, dude." Just stuff like that. Like I really love Apple products when it comes to, oh, I can copy on my iPhone and paste on my Mac, or I can use your Studio Pro and your MacBook. You can use your MacBook as a display remotely with no
Can
cables,
use my phone as I can use my phone like
as
I
a
can be watching
camera.
things on my phone. I can pass it off. Yeah, I can use it as a
Yeah,
camera. There's a lot
I
of
use it
cool.
as a camera when I'm in a real meeting. I'll use it as my camera.
I tell people that if they don't have Apple stuff, that it's easier, I guess, to make the decision to like not not upgrade or not make a switch. But if you have a bunch of Apple shit, like the connectivity, and you're totally right, the AirDrop now
Seamless, seamless.
is seamless. Yeah, I send PDFs and shit from my phone to my studio all the time now.
Yeah, and
It's so fucking
people
nice.
are still like, oh, like I don't know, MacBooks 10 years ago. what was it, the G4 PowerBook or whatever. Yeah, that was a piece of shit. Okay. So all these people that are like, oh, Mac is terrible, blah, blah, blah. They were looking at these like older, stuff 5, 10 years ago, and maybe it was just for designers at that time. But in terms of like productivity, streaming, um,
You can't beat them. Nah,
multitasking,
yeah,
you can't beat it now. Yeah. Sorry,
yeah.
guys.
Gaming,
Sorry, you
yeah.
Linux fucks. Go fucking get a real computer.
I get it. You want to play fucking Cyberpunk in 500 frames per second, and
Yeah,
go ahead and go ahead and
exactly.
go ahead and build your own PC and use Windows. Psh, my 20, dude. I'm telling you, Dragon King said, all right, I just saw that Dragon King's in the chat. He said it got me
What's
the
up,
M2
Dragon?
Pro Max, loving it. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like, I have the M1 for my MacBook Pro. I've got the
Me
last
too.
model of
Yep.
the 15 inch, I think it is, and
14, 14.
14, maybe it's 14, yeah. And it's a fucking powerhouse. I absolutely love it. And then I got the new Mac Studio M2 Ultra, and I completely
Mm,
maxed it out. So fucking
yeah,
quiet,
man.
and like for doing
Yeah.
these streams, when I download the video, when I edit video, uploading it,
Oh,
it takes like
seamless.
minutes, you know. Yeah,
So
yeah, it's so
fast. Yeah.
fucking fast. And when I used to do it on my on the MacBook, even like, uploading video or editing video and then reformatting it before you would upload would make my MacBook purr. You would hear it fucking
The fans kick in.
yeah, and it's so fucking quiet now on the studio. So yeah, sorry PC boys. Macs are superior. Master Race
Yeah.
MacBook.
Yeah. And honestly, if you're playing games or whatever and you're just like an avid gamer, you like, I don't know, even like fucking 9-year-old kids now, oh, I need a gaming PC or whatever, right? My stepbrother, I bought him like a $4,000 computer. He's like 15, bro. He doesn't need a fucking computer,
I don't
but
want to
we
tell you
got
what I
it.
spent on my son's PC, but yeah, we built him a custom one for him to play because he was getting pretty serious about gaming a few years back.
Yeah, you have to be
Um,
serious. If you're just avid, go get a fucking Xbox. No problem there. I played
it's
on
future
console for
proof.
years.
His PC is future proof. I think the only thing that like, he could upgrade right now that still wouldn't be top of the line is his GPU. And his GPU is
Yeah,
still like a
top.
30, I think yeah, I mean, I think he has a 3080.
Yeah, bulletproof. My brother got a 3090. The only thing that he could do is 128 gigs of RAM versus 64. Like that's it. Everything else is top, and you're playing games. You don't need 128. Right?
But to Dragon King's point, those 2012 MacBook Pros are like I still would argue like one of the best computers best laptops that have ever been put out. Like I still have a 2012 and I'm literally looking at it right now. It's like
The
15
Intel
feet
ones,
from
right?
me. Yeah, it's like 15 feet from me underneath one of my desks. I can see the corner of it sticking out. And I have so many MacBooks from because of that one. Like I was totally against Mac, and my girlfriend at the time, when she was in school, she used to come over and she would do her homework and stuff and study at my house with her Mac. And I started using it to just like browse and like look up stuff.
So
And
much better.
after I started using the trackpad on the MacBook and like, all of the gestures, like the pinching and swiping, and
Hmm.
I was like, how the fuck does anyone use like a PC and a mouse? Like why does everything not have this? This is like the most insane UX upgrade um that I could imagine. So from then on, like I was diehard, okay, PC makes sense for like the business I was working in at the time. Okay, I get like, there's Word and Excel and like everyone uses this and it's like
ThinkPads
uh
rule the world.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It made sense because like old systems are they're very archaic and they're hard to change. So like if everyone's using Windows and everyone's using Excel products by Microsoft, and these databases and files aren't composable, you can't, easily transfer the data, then it makes sense. Okay, like we're just gonna fucking get a cheap Windows PC, run Microsoft shit and, do that for work. But for your own personal use, if you're unless you're a designer, like you were saying, unless you're fucking like a designer or something, uh, then you had your Mac. But nowadays, yeah, I'm sorry, there's no the only laptop that I've seen that made me like, damn, I would get that instead of my MacBook was Lumio has this fucking Razer laptop that has
Mhm.
a second screen on it, but the second screen is like by the keyboard. So
Yeah,
there's
it's
this
like an
keyboard.
angled one, right? It can, like, move
Yeah,
it,
it
right?
is,
Yeah.
dude, it is so sick. It is it is hands down the dopest laptop I've ever seen. And it's the first time I saw something that I was like, holy shit, I would definitely get that over my MacBook um
If
if
I
I would have
had
seen
to, but
that.
I don't.
Yeah, if I
If I
but I
had
don't.
to,
So I just
but
so
I
I just
don't.
bought yeah, I just bought that laptop too, and it's just been sitting here. I don't use it at all. I just look at it.
Yeah. No, I have the
I'm
magic
kidding.
mouse, right? The magic mouse, fucking the Apple one.
I
You can do all the gestures on the mouse. It's amazing.
Yep, I had the old Magic Mouse. See what happened when I became addicted to these Mac products. I bought an iMac. I had a
Mm,
MacBook Air, a MacBook Pro. My girlfriend at the time had her MacBook Pro. And when I got the iMac, I bought it used from like off eBay. Someone, or no, not eBay, but it was like one of the local ones, like the buy sell trade type shit. And
Craigslist.
it might have been Craigslist at
Casual
the time.
casual casual encounters on Craigslist.
Casual Encounters, Ashley Madison, something, I don't know.
Mm.
Some single mom was selling it. Um no. But yeah, I went and picked it up, and with this iMac they gave me two of the wireless like keyboards, one wired keyboard, and two magic mice. So I was using those for a long time. Absolutely like loved that. But now I just went ahead and I'm done with the magic mice. I got the big trackpad for the
Oh, you
studio.
did it? You
I did
you
it.
converted?
I
So, how is
converted.
it? Tell me. The
It's
problem with in
amazing.
Brazil, the problem in Brazil is electronics are 60%.
Humidity.
There's yeah, exactly. 60% import tax. So when you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna
Oof.
buy $100 mouse," which no problem, I'll buy $100 mouse. "Oh, it's 300." And you're like, "Fuck, I got 300, but I know next time I go on vacation, I can buy it for 100." Or like even my computer is 6 grand here. It doesn't make any sense. I spent I don't know, 2,500, 3 grand in Canada. And here it's 6 grand. Like, fuck that, dude. I'm not spending 6 grand on a fucking laptop. But I know next
Is
time
that
on vacation, I'll buy another laptop or I'll buy a studio or whatever.
is that because of you buying it from a company, like a registered business? Would we be able
It
to, and I'm asking this because would we be able to loophole it by me buying Apple
can't
products,
even ship. Can't even ship.
can't even ship it to you? Like I would
Mm-mm.
get like I can't wholesale and I can't, distribute, but I,
Mm-mm.
I've I thought maybe person to person, my address to your address, it might
It's
allow
one
me
of
to
these
do
things that one of the biggest things that I don't like about Brazil, right? They always talk about, oh, like let's say this president, new president, oh, we need equality, we need to, bring up poor people and better education and, more equality. Well, you can't have equality when a fucking iPhone is $2,000 and the minimum wage is like $200 a month. Like you need to make iPhones $500, $1,000. And then more people buy them. Then creates a whole used market. Then instead of people here have like iPhone sixes and they like still
Yeah,
use them, and you're like,
shot it
Jesus
in
Christ,
Vietnam.
like, yeah, like a 15-year-old fucking kid has like a, iPhone 11 at least, in Canada or in the States or whatever. iPhone 12. I don't know. Heck, they might even have a 15 now, right?
When
Like
when I went
there's a
in like
whole used market that
2015,
creates.
I had to help. I remember when I went to go buy a SIM card, they had never created the nano SIMs before. And like they didn't have, they didn't have a model to cut the SIM cards into nano SIM size yet, like
Mhm.
for the like pay as you go, and
Yeah,
local
prepaid.
SIM cards. And so when I went there, I had to actually do it myself there, and I showed the guy like how like small they had to be cut. So we made a cutout for him there that he could use, in the future when people came.
Jesus Christ.
Because yeah, they were just I think back then it was like iPhone 7 maybe. Uh yeah, I don't
Before
know.
they
It's like
made the jump from
2020.
8 to 10.
It was like it was back when they still had S's. They had an S
Yeah.
series. No, they yeah, there was just like nobody with those newer phones. They were still a generation, two generations behind. And even
Yeah.
now, I have family when they come back, um, they always ask, like how much I think I could sell my old phones for here, and then like, there's usually an arbitrage opportunity to
Oh,
sell
for sure, for sure.
overseas if they're going back.
So same thing here, same thing here. But the problem is that we have Apple stores here. There's physical Apple stores here in Brazil, and the even more fucked up part is that we have a Foxconn factory outside of Sao Paulo. We make the shit here. The problem is that they import the parts, so then there's tax on the parts, and then of course, the tax flows through. So when you come here, you theoretically, hypothetically, you could bring like 1 or 2 iPhones and pay for your whole trip kind of thing, right? From the States to here and pay for your whole trip. But yeah, you
Yeah,
can't send like, "Hey, could you send me a studio?" Yeah, okay, you bought it for,
yeah,
I
ain't
don't know,
happening.
yeah, 2,000 bucks, 3,000 bucks, whatever it was, 4,000. Then the Receita
10,000.
Federal, yeah, 10,000, whatever it is, they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, here's a 60% tax." So like my fucking MacBook is like
Jesus.
6 grand here. So it doesn't make any sense. Like and it's so fucked. If you have a MacBook, oh, you're rich. You're like, dude, you go to any fucking college campus. Those people are fucking. Everybody has a MacBook. Not everybody.
D-
Okay, they're
It's
still,
all, I don't think
but
they
it's
know
more
that
common.
now everyone can have an Apple Card and that Apple will happily give you 12-month to 24-month 0% loans if you buy their products on your Apple Card.
From the card. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyone can, afford the shit now. You want to buy a $1,600 phone, fine, you can do it through them and pay 100 and something dollars that day, and then you're paying them like $60 a month for the next 18 months. They don't charge any interest. Like they it is the smartest way to make the youth slaves
To
to
credit
expensive
cards
things.
and Apple products. Yeah.
Subscriptioning is like such a psyops. And like everyone does it just because they're like, yeah, I don't want to pay it now. But like what they're really doing is they're putting off the fact that like they're spending, the amount of money that they actually are. They're like, oh no, I would never spend 9 grand on that computer. But I'll happily spend
You would.
$112 a month for the next 24 months because I can afford 100 and something dollars a month for this
Oh
computer.
yeah, that's the whole consumer
Um,
mindset. Go look at how many people drive like $100,000 cars or whatever. Oh, I need a brand new Mercedes for 80 grand. And they're like, how much is your payment? Oh, $1,500 a month, 2,000. You're like, what the fuck? Like, whoa, go get a fucking Civic, for 300-400 bucks.
Yeah, me and my
Consumer
family been
mindset's
talking about
wild.
that lately because we paid off our cars and like our house over the last like handful of years, all of our stuff. So like we don't have any expenses outside of HOA, phone,
Oh, you love that
electric,
HOA lady,
and internet.
your fucking
Uh,
neighbor. You love that lady.
Bro, I I didn't even give you guys an update. They the old management company is out, new management company in, and that lady and some of the other board members, they formed like a silent 3-3, and
Mm.
they voted for each other and had their proxies vote for one another to keep themselves on the board. So we have another meeting that we scheduled with the new management when they start in November, so we can try to get them out. Uh,
This is just a HOA. This is your
dude, yeah,
homeland
yeah,
battle, bro. Yeah.
I don't care, dude. I'm trying to get we're trying to get out of here. That's one of the goals over the next year is to find a new cozy little barn out here. No, not a barn, but yeah, we're looking at some new spots. I need a bigger place with the new little cozy coming, which I'm not looking forward to because as I was saying, I've been bill and debt free for the last little bit. So going back to slaving to a mortgage is not something I want to do.
Yeah, yeah, right. When you're not
The
paying the bank every month, you have more money to go spend. You could go vacation every month instead of fucking paying your mortgage, you know?
Everyone's like, just pay it off. If you have the money, just pay off the house. And it's like,
That's
yeah,
not
I
how
have
it
the
works either, guys. That's not how it works
yeah,
either.
yeah. I'm not gonna pull out, $800,000. Like, if I were the other thing is like my situation's different for a lot of people who are like crypto natives. Like I have to pull that money out to then pay that for the house, and then like I have to then it causes a lot of there's a lot of problems when you do that with traditional like U.S. banks, right? Like they
Yeah,
have a lot of
yeah.
questions. They don't want you to buy property with that money right away. Um, so yeah, it's like it's always taking this out and then going to do something with it. The headache that causes, the finding the people that will lend to you with that money. Um, there's a lot of headache, but I will say that generally it seems like people in industries that are adjacent to crypto are getting more knowledgeable and getting more comfortable with dealing with it. Like I just my lady that I had do my taxes this year, she was old, dude. I mean, she was old.
But she got it?
But dude,
She
she
was
she said
old.
she totally knew like what she was doing. All she you know, before we got started, she explained to me kind of how she looked at, and viewed crypto sales and receiving of. She helped save me a good amount of money on um a year previous where I'd paid extra. Although I let her know a lot of the paying extra is a feature, not a bug.
Mhm.
but but
Exactly.
yeah, she was great, and it wasn't as you could tell that her overall kind of attitude about it wasn't that she was off put or that she felt like she was dealing with something that was kind of like in a gray area, right? Like years in the past, when I remember when I did my
Oh,
first
you're screwed. You're so
return
screwed.
and it had crypto, like the person had no idea like what to do with it. it
Yeah.
took like a week for them to come back to me to tell me like, that they were ready to start because they were like, well, I need to do a little bit of research here. And this year she was like great. Like there was some when I ran it through like my own I think I'd used like token tax first to try to aggregate all of my stuff. And the software is I'd heard it got better this year. Guess what? It didn't get better.
Didn't get better.
um
Yeah. No, I
yeah,
just
yeah.
send my guy the CSV and he's like, "Fuck, Jesus Christ. What the fuck is this shit?"
Yep.
And I'm like, "I
That's what
don't
I
know,
did.
bro. But you just need to figure it out." And then he's like, "Okay, here's a number." And that's it. And in Brazil it's a little different because the exchange reports, right? The actual exchange reports to the Brazilian,
Yeah.
federales. So it's not that hard. Like, here's the number, right? Like, here's the CSV and here's the number. They already know. It's a little different than the US. It's like, how about you try to figure out your own number? And if the number's wrong, then you're in trouble. You're like, oh,
Yeah, well,
fuck.
you see, that's the thing. They already know. They just want
Yeah.
us to try to figure it out so that they can come and find us more money.
I think
Um,
Japan does it the best. They send you a postcard with how much money you owe. They
I
like,
would
thank
love
you.
that. I would
Yeah,
love
just tell
that.
me, bro. Just tell
Just
me.
tell me what I have to pay you, and like, we'll get along great.
Yeah,
Um,
no problem. No problem. Here is a little easier. Any sort of we have full crypto tax regulation and guidance, or not tax, full crypto regulation and tax guidance, right? So when you pull under a million USD, it's just 15% tax. So that's it. So if it's over a million, I don't know, then it's like 17.5 up to 22, I guess, on capital gains. But all crypto gains are looked as capital gains. So if I don't know, I don't need more than $1 million
oh,
dollars a year in fucking expenses. So 15% tax. So okay, no problem. That's okay.
ours are long term. I think was 15, and then short
Short
term is
term
based on your income tax bracket.
bracket, right? Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah. So
and there are
that's where you get
four
screwed.
brackets.
That's where
Yep,
you get
yep.
screwed.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
significantly you pay more the more you make. When in reality it technically should be less because you're paying more money or
or
you're paying, more money as a lower
per
percentage
head.
for the
Yeah.
higher amount.
Oh yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah,
It's a
but
it's a fucking mess for sure.
we live in a country full of commies where everyone feels like you should just be
Hey, but
given
if
money.
shit hits the fan, okay, who you gonna call? You know? If you were in fucking this
Not
Israel,
me. I'll tell you what. My
conflict,
my
no, but
uh
you're
my
not gonna call him? Fuck
cul-de-sac.
yeah.
You ain't calling me, I'll tell you that much. I got a handful of people that I would call, and we'd link up at someone's house. We'd
No,
unbox
I'm saying if shit
boxes
hits the
of
fan, you call
ammunition.
the US government and you're like, "Hey, get me the fuck out of this hellhole, bro. This is what I pay you
Oh,
guys
yeah,
taxes
yeah.
for."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they're
for
gonna send
sure.
a fucking plane and come pick you up.
Yeah, that is the one thing that we get for paying our taxes. But nowadays I think that's questionable. It really depends on the optics of the exchange and getting you out, I think. Like there could
Mhm,
be
mhm. Some
that
money that needs to be moved
it
around.
it's definitely more theater now than it was before. Before it was this country has an American, we'll do whatever we can to get him back. Now it's more of a this person has an American, but what kind of American are they? Are they a good person by society standards?
Let's check their
Um,
Twitter. Let's
let's
check
put
their
them
social credit score.
let's put them on moral and social court first. And if they pass, then yes, we will figure
Let's
something
ask
out to get
Twitter.
them
Let's
back.
ask Twitter.
Let's do a Twitter poll.
Oh shit! All right, I
So,
know I gotta jump off to another meeting in a few minutes. I gotta change my fucking shirt because it's I don't know spilled coffee or something on it. But thank you for tuning in to Marty's
yeah,
tax guidance and
yeah.
Social Fi Pod. We'll be back tomorrow.
Are you joining me tomorrow? If you are, great, because
Shh,
I don't think
let
I
me
think
see.
DK is I think DK is going to be out again, and and I need me a partner.
I'm in. I'm in tomorrow. Yeah. So
Dragon, Waifu King. When do you want to come on, Waifu?
thank you for the
You want to
stream,
come on and chat with us about new Anata stuff, new
Mackie
new
Bookies.
swappable clothing. Marty needs himself a VTuber. He wants to
Yeah, I
hop
don't know
into the
how to
wonderful
become.
world. I
I
got
don't know how
something
to
cool
become a
coming,
VTuber.
Marty. I know we're dragging this out, but I have a meeting with since Dragon is on here. I have a meeting with Hounds, one of his
Oh yeah,
colleagues,
hound.
soon. You probably know Hounds. I think he's pretty well known in like the trader circles, right? Like the
I think they were supposed to be working on a Marty avatar, and then we got Martied. Remember, the account got
Yeah,
nuked. I
yeah.
think
Count
that
got
that's where we were
Count got
at.
Marty. Yeah, Hounds is great,
Yeah.
but Hounds, I'm in talks with setting up, getting a studio set up for us so that we have a fully immersive experience here on Eden, a true Eden for the E-boys and
Oh
E-girls.
yeah, I'm in. I'm in.
All right. That's all for today, guys. We got to run. Catch you back tomorrow, same time, 11 EST. Adios.
Later, pimps.